Hello everyone, and welcome to your online video class. My name is Noah, teacher. Please make sure that you watch and listen closely and have downloaded all of the worksheets. I hope that you have fun watching this class. First, we will start with a warm-up quiz. This is a food quiz. I will show you a picture and name of a food. You should think and write, where is it from? Please write the name of the country on worksheet 1. For example, if I show you kimbap, you would think and write down Korea, because kimbap is a food from Korea. Okay, let's start the quiz. The first food in the quiz is pasta. Do you know where pasta comes from? Please write your answer down. Hopefully you got the correct answer. Pasta is, of course, from Italy. The second food is curry. Can you think where curry first came from? The answer is India. Have you tried Indian-style curry before? The third food is jjajangmyeon. Where does jjajangmyeon come from? The answer is Korea. Jjajangmyeon is sold at Chinese restaurants, but it comes from Korea. The next food is tacos. Write what country you think they come from. Tacos come from Mexico and are very popular all over the world. The fifth food is hot dogs. Maybe you know where a hot dog first came from. The answer is America. The final food is Kangaroo Burger. Maybe you can easily guess where this food comes from. Of course, the answer is Australia. My name is Noah, and I come from Australia. It is true that we eat kangaroos in Australia. You can eat kangaroo in many ways, such as burgers, steak, or pie. It is very delicious. This is my mother in Australia. She is a chef. That means her job is to cook. She can cook delicious food from all over the world. So, you might have guessed, today we will be learning about food. We will look at many different foods from many different countries. We will learn what a national dish is and why it is important to each country. So, let's move on. All countries in the world have food dishes that are very important. These foods are called national dish. A national dish is a food dish that first comes from the country or is very popular and common in a country. Often, a national dish has a long history and a story around how it was made. National dishes often use food ingredients that are common in their country. These dishes tell us something about a country. And countries can have more than one dish that are considered a national dish. Let's look at an example of a national dish and what we can learn from a country's food. This is the country of the Netherlands, and one of their national dishes is pickled herring. Have you tried it before? The Netherlands is close to the sea, so it was easy to catch this fish. The Netherlands has been making this dish for almost 600 years. The fish is stored in barrels and lasts a long time. So the people could take the food with them as they traveled around Europe. People in the Netherlands have a very unique way of eating pickled herring by putting their neck up and lowering the herring into their mouths. The pickled herring national dish is made of simple ingredients that the Netherlands had 600 years ago. The fish is not actually cooked, but is left for a long time in barrels with vinegar and salt. This process actually makes it so the fish can be eaten and lasts a long time. The herring can have a sour taste, which is why it is served with onions and pickles to balance the flavor. Today, in the Netherlands, pickled herring is still a very important national dish. Now that we have looked at what a national dish is, see if you can guess some more national dishes. I will show you the name of a country and 4 different options of the national dish. On worksheet 1, write down which dish you think is the national dish of the country. Maybe you will know some of the dishes. Okay, question number 1. What is the national dish of China? Is it A, Peking duck, B, dim sum, C, sweet and sour pork, or D, chow mein? The correct answer is A, Peking duck. Question number 2. What is the national dish of Canada? Is it A, poutine, B, bagel, C, maple syrup, or D, lobster roll? The correct answer is A, poutine. Question number 3. What is the national dish of Russia? Is it A, pancakes, B, salted pickles, C, beef stroganoff, or D, borscht soup? The correct answer is D, borscht soup. Question 4. What is the national dish of Vietnam? Is it A, banh mi, B, pho, C, spring roll, or D, bun cha? The correct answer is B, pho. Question number 5. What is the national dish of France? Is it A, ratatouille, B, pot au feu, C, French fries, or D, crepe? The correct answer is B, pot au feu. And question number 6. What is the national dish of Turkey? Is it A, baklava, B, dolma, C, doner kebab, or D, Turkish delight? The correct answer is C, doner kebab. How did you go with the quiz? Let's look at a few more national dishes from around the world. Sushi is a national dish of Japan and is very popular all over the world. Sushi started as a fast food and could be prepared and eaten quickly. The national dish from Brazil is called feijoada and is a bean stew. It is made of beans, pork, and many vegetables. It first began when slaves and poor people put together the leftover food of the rich people into one big stew. This national dish is called a meat pie. It is from Australia, where I am from. It is a very popular food among many Australians. The meat pie is made up of pastry and ground beef and can be bought at sports games or convenience stores. Now that you have seen many different national dishes, can you think what could be one of Korea's national dishes? Remember, it should be something that is well known both in Korea and outside of Korea. And it should have a story and history and use ingredients from Korea. Let's look at an example. For a Korean dish, I have chosen bibimbap. Bibimbap is very popular all over Korea and also one of the most well-known Korean foods outside of Korea. Bibimbap is definitely a national dish of Korea. Let's look at the ingredients or the different foods that are used to make bibimbap. First is the mixed namu vegetables and bean sprouts. These vegetables are very common and unique to Korea. Also, there is gochujang, which gives bibimbap its unique Korean taste. Of course, there is also rice. Many Asian national dishes include rice. As you can see, the flavors of bibimbap are very unique to Korea. All national dishes have a story or creation behind them. Bibimbap is thought to have maybe come from almost 400 years ago. It is thought that bibimbap started by farmers. The wives of farmers would mix the leftover vegetables together with rice to make a new meal and to save as much food as possible. There are many different types of bibimbap, but Jeonju bibimbap is the most famous. Jeonju introduced gochujang to the bibimbap to give it the unique Korean spice and flavor. As you can see, national dishes normally have a long history and stories behind the dish. Now, it is time to think of a different Korean dish that you think is a national dish. On the Korean National Dish Worksheet, Worksheet 2, you should write down what dish you have chosen. Also, if you know, then write which region the dish comes from. You should write as many ingredients or list of foods used to make the dish that you can think of. Also, if you know any history or story or interesting facts about the dish, then please include them on the worksheet. You can see here an example that I did for bibimbap. Think that you are introducing this national dish to someone who is not from Korea. What is important to tell them? Remember, the dish you choose should be something that is popular in Korea, uses Korean ingredients, and has a story behind it. Please write as much as you can on the worksheet. The timer starts now. How did you go? Were you able to properly explain one of Korea's national dishes? Now that you have looked at a possible Korean national dish, it is time to look global. You will now do some research and find a national dish from a different country outside of Korea. Now you can learn about a new national dish and share it with others. So, how do we find a country and their national dish? If you are struggling to think or find a national dish, you can research one of the national dishes that we looked at in this lesson before. If you want to find your own national dish from a country, I will give you some tips to research a national dish. First, go to Google. Then you should think of a country. Try and think of a unique or different country. Type the country and the words national dish in, like this. Second, click search and you will see an answer. Sometimes you will see more than one option. Click on the website nationalfoods.org. After, you will see some information about the national dish, as well as some ingredients and how to make it. Third, you might not find all the information on this website, or you might want to find a different national dish. So you can keep searching on Google. For example, you can write the name of the national dish and the words history after it. Have a look around and try and find some interesting information. Try and find a different national dish than pizza. Like before, on Worksheet 3, you can write the name of the national dish. Instead of the region this time, write what country it is from. Then, like before, you can find some ingredients and some interesting facts or history. Now, it is time to do some research and find your own global national dish to learn about. Look at the timer and make sure you spend enough time researching and finding information, as well as writing on the worksheet. This is a good chance to learn about some new foods. So try and find some interesting national dishes and foods. Your time starts now. Okay, the time is finished. I hope that you were able to find a national dish, do some research, and find some interesting information about it. Now, if you have some time and you are in class, you can share your national dish with your classmates. Or, if you are working online or from home, later you can share with your friends the national dish that you found. Today, we looked at many different foods from all around the world. We learned about the phrase, national dish. A national dish is an important and well-known food from a country. All countries have a national dish or several different iconic national dishes. A national dish mostly uses ingredients that are from a country and has a long history that tells a story. I hope that you enjoyed looking at many different foods from all over the world. And I hope one day you get to try some of these national dishes. Thank you and see you next time.